it sounds like you kind of started from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. Tell me a little bit about how how that came about, and how it came about that you wanted to start fighting mixed martial arts.
Well, funny story. So, it's kind of almost 2 years ahead of everybody in school, so a little over a year. I was really small, super small, and not like the short kids class, like almost comical. I was like a really, really short kid, so like I got picked on, and honestly, just a bad experience. And I got to fight, but I got off the bus one day. I got to fight, and I don't know, things just kind of changed from that point on. And I just wanted to know how to defend myself. So my mom and I worked in a Blockbuster. I'm going to date myself a little bit now. I feel old. But we were in a Blockbuster one day, and there was a box, like a sweepstakes box, where you put your name in the box and you win, X amount of classes. And one of the local martial arts places had their box out. And I asked my mom, and she told me no, because she's like, no, it's for boys. So when she turned around, I put my name in the box. Well, about a week later, my mom got a call. She was telling the guy, oh, you must be mistaken. Like, we didn't enter, and I had to come clean and tell her I did. And she never wanted me to do martial arts, so I begged her, and she took me to class and saw how much I loved it. And I was about, I guess, 8 years old then. Yeah, roughly 8. And I started kind of, it's like a taekwondo style and like kickboxing, kind of blended. So I did that for a little while, and I did some boxing and some other things. And, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was getting a little bit more prominent in Kentucky at that time, and in America in general. So the school I was at kind of transitioned. We accumulated some guys that did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We started having enough classes, and the martial arts school I was in kind of transitioned over more to an MMA school. And I was so interested in all of it. I saw those guys sparring and then taking it to the ground, and I was just mesmerized. And I was like, I want to do that. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. So that's what I've done ever since. I've just trained and tried to fight occasionally here and there, but I'm kind of looking at it more seriously now as I'm a little bit more like settled and have time to put into it. So I'm hoping to pursue it consistently now.
How was it for you? You said that you were basically, taking Taekwondo and then striking before you were taking the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How was it for you that first time to try out Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? And was it something that kind of came naturally to you, or was it something you kind of had to work at?
It was terrible. I definitely had to work at it, and I'm not one of those people like that. I like to be good at things, So it was a challenge, and I think that's what made me fall in love with it so much. Striking came to me quickly, and I think that you kind of lose the excitement for that. It's one of those things where, I enjoyed it, but Jiu-Jitsu was such a challenge that when I finally started getting it, that I fell in love. And it was a hard first class. I trained yesterday. It was a hard class yesterday. It never eases up. There's always, the bar is always a little higher every time. So, but yeah, it is a challenge. It's a challenge now, but I love Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the ladies that have come out of the area. Gina Begley now was out of there, and she was doing a really great job as well. One of your former opponents, Linda, who happens to be fighting for Invicta, and she's starting to make a name for herself there as well. And Jessamine was Invicta, and it's great to be able to see so many talented young ladies out of the region as well. How's it been for you to kind of take a look? You said that basically the big problem is that there haven't been very many smaller fighters out there for you to be able to fight. But tell me a little bit about how the kind of the area is in terms of MMA presence, especially the female MMA presence.
So the area that I'm from, the only real, I guess, for the female population, ASS, which is where Gina's gym now. I don't know. I would assume she was there when she was fighting. I'm not super familiar with it, but I know currently she's there, and because of her, her experience and things, like she's brought a lot of women into that gym. So for that area, that southeastern Kentucky area, I mean, she really has some strong females. I mean, a lot. And I don't know if it's just that they're there or that they come there for her. I think it's kind of a mixture of both. But she has some really talented people on the team. If I'm not mistaken, Lynn is her only 115, or I don't know that very well, but I've kind of fought. Not everybody in the area, but most of the chicks in the area that are close to my size. So, I mean, I expect I'll have to travel a lot, but now I live in Cincinnati. I moved to Cincinnati, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. The presence here is pretty good. There's a lot of talent in Cincinnati as well. Unfortunately, it's hard being a 115er. That's the challenge. It's not the lack of females. I think it's just the lack of smaller females. I mean, 115 is it's a tough class. Like, we're child-sized people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, just to see where everything's kind of falling into place right now, and I think a lot of it deals with different regions and different parts of the area. Strangely enough, I mean, just historically reading through some of the stats that I've taken, Texas and like Denver is like in Colorado seem to be the two places where you get a lot of strawweights. And then, the Midwest, we start getting to more of the, 125, 135, 145ers, kind of towards the Midwest. So it's been kind of interesting just to see how everything kind of goes, and I can understand why travel has to be something that you have to kind of plan for and all that as well. I mean, with a 4-1 record, though, I think it's really impressive, just to say the least, and, if we can get a couple more fights under you, I mean, we could see you, turn pro relatively soon, which will be interesting. To say the least. So hopefully that'll end up happening where you'll get a couple more fights, and get under your belt, and we can think about maybe looking at turning pro and maybe heading to Invicta at some point. So hopefully that'll end up being in the situation. But yeah, I'm interested to see where everything is kind of going right now. I'm still kind of rallying through some statistics right now for last year, but it'll be interesting to see kind of where strawweight goes. Strawweight and flyweight always seem to be right there and neck in terms of amount of fights. So hopefully that just means more fights for you.
Yeah, hopefully that happens. I mean, I've the girls, that I've fought, Emily Prince, she was a really, really talented opponent. She's now fighting in Bellator. Linda that I've fought is in Invicta, and I see all these chicks with all this talent in this area, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. Like, I want to be up there, and I want to get us some more fights. So that's my goal. And I think Tuff is the next step. Trying to get that 115 title, I think that's the next step, and that's what I need to do to get there. So I'm really excited, and I hope that my fight on the 15th is works out. So yeah, and I mean, just to see how tough it must have been for you. I mean, you've been fighting for 5 years, and there's been several times where things didn't work out, where a fight fell through and all that as well, and having had 5 fights in like maybe one a year, it's got to be kind of frustrating for you too. So hopefully that kind of streak kind of starts ending, once we get a couple more of these fights out. So fingers crossed that this one goes through. I mean, it's great to be able to see a talent like yourself kind of make it through there as well.
You know, well, I mean, let's talk about sponsors. I mean, do you have any sponsors and that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, I've been wearing X-Guard tees for, a long time. I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. X-Guard's been with me, support me when I didn't have a lot of support, so, I mean, they're awesome. Other than that, Black Rose Firearms they're local. They're here in Monroe, but they have a great online presence. They've done a lot to support me in this camp, and I'm excited for that relationship in the future. I think we're going to do great things together. But those are my two main supporters. You know, I have some one-offs for, individual fights that have helped me out. But as far as the journey goes, the long term, X-Guard and Black Rose have been right there with me. It's been good so far.
Now, I don't think you're on Twitter, but I know you're on Instagram, correct?
Yes.
What's your Instagram again?
It's my first name. It's Alannah _ and my middle name K47. My nickname's AK47, so try to play with that. But yeah, definitely find me.
Yeah, definitely find our Instagram as well. And like I said, I really enjoyed your first, seeing your fight this past December. I will hope when you get out here to Tuff-n-uff, I will be there watching your next fight as well, and hopefully we'll actually get to catch up after the fight. I wasn't able to catch up with you after the last fight, but hopefully this time around we'll definitely catch up and maybe get a post-fight interview. Hopefully with a 115-pound belt around your shoulder.
Heck yeah, that sounds great. I'm excited.
Well, best of luck to you, and like I said, I really look forward to seeing your fight, and work hard, keep training, and again, I really think that you're well on your way to possibly being a really great pro, and we really do need those strawweights.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And that's it for our podcast. You guys can check us out on wombatsports.com for all your latest news in the women's divisions of mixed martial arts and beyond. You guys can also check us out on Twitter at WMMA News, at WMMA News, and at Wombat Sports on Instagram. Remember, we'll be over at the Orleans Arena on Friday covering Tuff-n-uff, so definitely check out that as well. We'll have video and photos from the event. You guys can definitely check us out at wombatsports.com for some really cool articles as well. With that in mind, we'll see you guys down the road here on the WMMA Math Podcast, brought to you by Wombat Sports.